Morning. How's it going? Sorry, I'm a bit late today. All right. Well, we spoke about this yesterday, as well as in my Ninja Trader stream, that this was a consolidation, and if we didn't get some sort of aggressive price action off of this high, then we'd be looking for a move to this low, right? And if you notice, do we get aggressive price action? No, right? This is actually a reversal candle, candle 2 closure, right? So go to the hourly, right? You see candle 2 closure, V-shape reversal, SMT, and then we just get a continuation in this candle out of this T spot for the move lower. Now this has already occurred. I have no interest in metals. If anything, I'd be looking for retracement back up, right? Same thing here, just a lot stronger. Bitcoin, we spoke about it yesterday. If we could get a close back inside this range, then it'd be a candle 2 closure and we can look for a continuation. Yo, sorry, I just set up that Nightbot thing like literally 3 minutes ago. I didn't know it would tell you to stop spamming caps. What are you spamming? Wait, let me turn off the moderation features. I'll just mod it. Cap moderation. All right, those should be off now. It should be chill. All right. Anyways, Bitcoin, same thing, right? And then you just be seeking a continuation in there. Oil, you can see my drawing from yesterday, right? I wanted to see us reach into this gap. It looks like we did reach into the gap, right? And we did have what my drawing said. Open, right? Reach up into this gap, V-shape reversal already higher. So this is something I missed because I'm up too late. Otherwise, I would have actually traded this most likely. If there is a SMT on this low. I would have just traded a different asset. I would have traded RB. But RB or HO, probably HO. But nonetheless, dollar we can go take a look at. We're looking for dollar to trade into here. Didn't, so not that interesting for me. All right. I was posting an Instagram story and then it just opens up to the first reel. Wonder if that just spam chat or not. Let's go take a look at indices. Yeah. So let's take a look. YM still the weakest. We have SMT. This is the first time looking, but SMT on previous day high. You'd want to be focused on YM. Take a look really quick. Yeah. Probably just do the 4 hour and 15 again, like yesterday. Bit not the best in there. Yeah, the SMT. SMT in here, right? Open high, and then we're getting these expected swings, right? Now with this, let's put on an indicator really quick. I just want to see. Already taken that. Yeah, YM still. So if we're gonna get a 10 a.m. continuation into this low, the focus would be YM. This is such a weird formation for candle 2. But nonetheless, essentially the only reason you're even looking at it is if previous day high. So does that make sense? Do I use rejection? Wait, what's RJs? I don't know what that is. Guys, ready? We're gonna make a quick list of all the stuff I use. Also, we have 1,000 people in here, so we will do a giveaway here in a minute. Or wait, I think I can do a giveaway with the Nightbot thingy. That's why I got it. All right. Yeah, that seems kind of fire. We're gonna do. All right, ready? We're gonna do a giveaway for a 25K Flex account. And if you win it, you just have to have your email in your YouTube description. Select who can participate. Viewers. All right, what should be the keyword? And only send it once. I'm turning on remove spammers. So if you spam it, you're going to be removed from the giveaway, right? So say it one time, and there you go. All right, let's see. So to enter, all you have to say is in chat one time, TTFM. And for those of you that don't know, that just means he trades fractal model. Anyways, say TTFM one time, don't spam. If you spam, you get removed. As you go, wow, we're up to 100 entries. We'll give it a couple minutes. But while that is going, I will choose a winner in a minute once it slows down. We're at 200 people entered. There is 800 people in here, so once we get closer to that number, we will give it away. What do I use though? Highs and lows, fair value gap, right? And then CISD. The confluence I will use is SMT. Besides that, guys, you don't really see anything else on my chart, right? I don't use rejection blocks, I don't use breaker blocks, I don't use any of that stuff, right? All I use is that. So really quick, we'll just put on the screen, keyword TTFM to enter giveaway. If you spam, it removes you. So don't spam it. Say it more than once, you have a chance of being removed. So once it slows down, looks like it's slowing down. We'll choose it at 9:50. So if you haven't used it, feel free to enter. Make sure that your email is in your YouTube description. So I think I can just go to your channel, find your email, and then I will send you an email with the code. That's how we'll do the giveaways from now on, because it's a little more fair than just whoever's fastest, right? All right. We have 400 entries. 45 seconds left on the giveaway, and then we were done. All right. And this is for a 50K. Did I say 50? No, I said 25K. 25K flex account from Lucid Trading. I'll put that on here. This is just use code TT if you purchase. Anyways, let me, I'm gonna go into my personal. So I'll just grab your email. All right, we are closing in, and okay, I'm going to choose a winner now. So let's see who win. This is you. You are the winner. Please, if this is you, how do I find your channel? Oh, right there, go to channel. That's not, that's my channel. Do I need to get this figured out? Never done this one before. How do I do this? Yo, XO Lissaran me 8348. If you are in chat, please say something. thought winner is at 950. Yeah, it's 950. So the winner is chosen. All right, guys, this is over. With that winner, I'll give it to you. I'm gonna screenshot this. 25K flex account. All right, let's get back to the actual stream. Are we gonna analyze the charts? Yeah, we kind of just speed ran those. Now we're waiting until the 10 a.m. All right, guys, please stop spamming TTFM. It is over. So let's not be spamming that. All right, please stop saying TTFM. It already occurred. All right. So gold, yeah, I'm not looking at gold because gold already hit the target, right? It's already made a pretty massive range. So this is when you don't want to trade. The only way you could trade this is back into the range, and I have no interest of doing that. So please stop spamming gold. We spoke about it yesterday as well. Right, we needed to wait for this daily close. This daily closure tells us, hey, what? Price has reversed here within SMT. We can look for a continuation in this area. It goes to here. That's the move. That's it. You miss it, you miss it. Now right here, we can go look on the lower time frames and see what's up, but it's most likely just waiting until 10 a.m., right? But this is expansion. This looks like retracement. We've already expanded this 4-hour candle, so it's not really that interesting until 10 a.m. That's why we're just chilling. What's your opinion on trading FOMC days? I prefer not to, generally speaking. I don't really mind, but I'm not up during London, so I'm not gonna trade London. But I don't really mind it. Are you bearish for today? Well, I mean, I woke up pretty late, so I can't really say. It'd be in hindsight. But I mean, we have a reversal of previous day high with SMT. So I'm still thinking we go to previous day low. Otherwise, we're gonna stay inside bar, right? Can I please analyze EU and GU? Well, the thing is dollar. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Move it down here. I mean, it's just reversal of previous day high, no SMT. I mean, the only way you could really frame that would be, funny enough, I'd be more focused on GU than EU. Stuff of the structure on the daily, but I just don't, this isn't really my type of trade. It's not really swing point, it's a reversal day. If I'm going to trade something like this, and this is going to be the retracement to continue higher, then I'm waiting for the following day. I just wait for the continuation. Maybe zoom in a bit. Can't zoom in too much, otherwise it's too big. Look into Tesla. This is what I was looking for on Tesla was, well, when it was in here, it's a range. Goes to the other side of the range. Range. Going towards the other side of the range. But here's the thing, it hit right there. Right, so it already hit your target. I don't really understand wanting to short after the lows are taken. You want to short in here towards the lows. Right? That's a bit of a chase to me. Hey T, I have a quick question. How do you calculate or find the average daily range? So I make it pretty simple. I literally just look at a daily candle chart and I'm like, all right, here's our past little bit of range. When we have expansion candles, what does it look like? Or our previous range. All right, there's 800, you know, another 700, 700, 700. Wow, maybe just around 700, 800 is a good amount for YM. So that's kind of just what I expect. So if we're going to trade lower, is previous day low within that 700 range? Yeah, kind of into there. So what does that give us? Previous day low. Could it reach for these? Sure, right? But I kind of don't expect, you know, price to go from here there, because now that's 1,000 point range almost, right? That's a bit more than I'd expect. Now, when can these occur? On high volatility days. Do we have one today? Yeah, we have FOMC. So that is when something like this can occur, as you increase the volatility. By the way, if this is you, can you send me a DM on Discord? This person? I can give you away your account. I gotta figure out the best way to do that. Anyways, that makes sense on the daily range. What to do if the daily move was already before open? Well, let's keep it simple. This already occurs. What do we want to trade? We want to trade expansion, right? So what do we do if price already expanded? 1, nothing, don't trade. 2, is there any open UL? Right, so the easiest, most simple way is, hey, price has already expanded, I'm just going to avoid this, right? The second is there any open drawn liquidity? So for me, I was saying, hey, we can still reach for previous day low, right? So the focus would be on YM, since it is weaker, it's closer to that previous day low, right? YM is the strongest, so this would be my focus. And then how would you be looking for it? Well, we want to see if we form a continuation out of this, right? So if we have a candle to closure here, right, we go to the 1 minute, right? Not the cleanest, but are we going to form a continuation in the lower half of this, so below here, to trade into this low, right? And you just treat it the exact same as like everything, right? Like it's just the fractal model. But you have to lower your expectations, right? Like this becomes lower probability because what can we do? Just consolidate. Where do you want to be trading? You want to be trading this, right? You don't want to be trading this, generally speaking. Do you have a video where you talk about candle 2 closures? So guys, really great resource. You go to my website. Watch this. Ready? Here's my website. You can type in candle 2. Kind of crazy. Ready? Type in candle 2. Understanding candle 2 closures within the fractal model. How to trade candle 2. So there's your resource, right? And you can just go to that on ttrades.com. All free. Anyways, so we have to wait for this closure. If this is going to occur, YM is still the weakest. I'm not the biggest fan of these failure swings right here, unless we have SMT. And we don't, so it's just kind of garbage looking. But if we are going to react and trade into that around 10 a.m., you would want to see a swing put in here, right? Otherwise, it's most likely just going to fail, right? So 1, what does the fractal model need? It needs a candle closure first, right? So that's why we're not interested in anything until what? This candle closes. Once this candle closes in 8 seconds, right, it's going to print the model, but you see we're already, it's going to put the EQ here, right up here, right? So then it'll say, okay, we need to hold this area if we're going to trade lower. Now for me, right, I would prefer to closure lower, and then we can hold this area. The only way to really kind of trust this high now is, for me, is do we have SMT here? Which, sure. So now we want to see, it's just not the cleanest formation, guys, because what? When you see expansion, you want to see a retracement or a consolidation. You don't really want to see expansion met with expansion met with an expansion, right? But the whole idea is that, let me clean this up, is, hey, if we are going to, now with this new 4-hour candle, reach for this low over here, as well as the previous 4-hour low, right? Well, then what do I want to see? Well, generally speaking, if this would have closed a bit better, I don't want to see this high return too. So what does that mean? 15-minute candle 2 closure. We see this, right? So then now I want to see, do we have, see now we have expansion, met with expansion, met with expansion. Do we have this little retracement in here or just a continuation? Preferably some sort of chop. Then you sweep, form a new swing, trade lower, right? You don't want to see price buy this back up because now what do we have? Expansion, met with expansion, met with expansion, met with expansion, and we're just consolidating, right? It don't let me send any more super chat. You don't need to send super chat, man. Is your Discord free? Yeah, you can go type this in, discord.ttrades.com. It'll send it to you. Right. That will go there. You want the website? education.ttrades.com. I'll send you to that education I was showing. But anyways, let's see really quick. I'm not a huge fan of the actual formation of it. But you would really need, like for me to be at all anticipating this, it needs to kind of form its swing here, close below, go. Otherwise it's consolidating, right? IFUG traders probably entered on the IFUG. Yeah. So here it's like this is candles kind of a retest slash reversal candle on a lower time frame. So if you visualize this candle, then this one, that retracement, expansion, right? So we don't generally want to see, if we don't want to see this high hit, we use 0.5 of the wick. That's what I was saying, 0.5 of the wick here into there. And then now that's an expansion candle. So if I was in anywhere in here, I would be break even at this point because we're so far traded away from it that if price returns back to the entry price, right, that's expansion, not with expansion, and it's going the other way, right? So I just want to see this continue. This can continue until around 10:10, 10:15, right? That'd be ideal. In through the lows. So there we go, right? So either way, you can get 1.5, 2R almost out of this. Now this is somewhere where I want to partial. Why is that? Well, that's the previous 4-hour low, right? So if we go to the 4-hour candle, right? Let's hide all the drawings for a second. See how we took the previous 4-hour low. This is where we can form a reaction, even if we don't go take this low, right? But my preference, we go back to the 1 minute here, is that this returns into this low, right? The previous day low. So then I want to see, the only way this occurs is if we form a reaction out of this gap, right? So kind of don't really want to see it trade much above that level. Right? So then you want to see, we'll remove my little red drawing here. We can mark it up later, but you want to see it form a swing right in here and then trade it into previous day low if we're going to continue. Otherwise it chops and then it's really uninteresting, right? Makes sense? This NQ reaction only because YM took the low. I haven't looked at NQ because NQ is the strongest. Why would you want to be looking at that one? If you look at YM at the same time, you see how it's just sending. Right, so there we go. Now we get a nice candle closure here. You see that? Right, respecting this area. And the only reason I mark out that area there, I'm just eyeballing it because it's quickly. It's just 0.5 of this. Right? That's all I marked out. I just eyeballed the 0.5. Now we want to see. Ideally, this just holds if we're going to trade lower. The thing is, for me, I would never be entering here, right? I'd only be entering here. Now, why is that? Well, I made a video maybe 2 weeks ago where it's saying, hey, why are my continuations failing? And it's generally speaking, most people fail because they're trying to take an entry here after we already took all these short-term lows, right? So I'm really only interested in entry here, there, and then holding, right? And then now this is a protected swing, in which case I don't want to see this return to. So now let's say I was in any sort of position in here, I'm moving my stop loss to here, right? Because this is now protected in my eyes. But this is about it. This is all I can anticipate because I woke up so late, right? How do you know which so fast, which one's stronger or weaker? I just looked at the daily chart. So for instance, you guys saw it all on stream, right? I came in here. I just went boom, boom, boom. What did I notice? I looked at the closure, right? We're way below the open. We haven't taken out previous day high. Which one's propped higher? Look at the closures, right? This one has the strongest close. This one has the largest wick. So it tells me that YM's the weakest, right? If YM's the weakest, we have SMT here, right? Well, if we're not going to consolidate on the day, then the only drawn liquidity there is previous day low. That's it, right? And then we can answer some questions on this move after it either fails and comes back into the range here. We can talk about it, or after it goes lower, right? At this rate, I don't normally want to see it take this, right? Now this is just within this 1 minute move. Do you need your indicator to trade your model? No. So for instance, let's say it didn't mark up anything and I just have a power of 3 tool. Okay, so let's come back to the 1 minute. Put this on automatic. Oops. Automatic. Right. And we're just going to clean up the chart here. Right, so let's say all I had here marked out was nothing. Right? Then to understand the model, all I'm going to do is mark it out. Well, for me, this is how I used to do it for like a year, right? I would mark it all out myself. Right there, right there. I can mark out that. It's going to be 0.5 of the wick. Right? I don't even have the right number. But it's like, I know what I want to see because I used to do this manually for months at a time. Right? So like, I know target, 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 right? I know that these are marked out. Like I can mark that all out. I just don't because I'm lazy and the indicator will do it all for me, right? So now that it took this low, right, that is a failure to continue lower, right? So this is coming back in the range. It can go higher. I don't really care, right? But this is the problem with what? If you're trading this type of move somewhere up here in the daily range, you can catch an expansion. If you're trading it down here, this is where you get the risk of consolidation, like we said, right? So that's why you're more, what is it? You're less greedy in terms of where you want to take things off, right? That's why I was saying, hey, it can go here. If it goes here, I'm not really that interested, right? Because now it's a consolidation. Now, just understanding this move, the whole idea is if we're going to form the wick of the 15-minute in this area, price immediately expands away. So then you ask yourself, is this going to get bought back up or is it retracement or consolidation? Here we see it retraces. Now, it doesn't look like a retracement, but if you go down to one lower time frame, maybe we'll go 15-second, right? This is just a retracement, right? Expansion, retracement, continues below, right? Can it go break out to the downside now? Sure. Do I care? No, because my model is fairly mechanical in the way that, hey, if we're going to trade this, I don't want to see it. I just want to see the trend continue, right? Will price sometimes go do things where it runs this out and then it goes? Yeah, right? And that's likely what will happen, right? We still have the previous day low. Just because price has a reversal on a 1 minute doesn't mean that you just get rid of your whole idea, right? Are you still interested in that idea? That's what you have to decide, right? I can talk about some more advanced things later, but I didn't want to talk about it real time because I didn't want to complicate it or make people confused. So I'd rather not, because then it just looks like I'm speaking in hindsight there. What if I found a candle 2 closure to the side where I want the market to go, but before the expansion candle tapping on the other side, can I still, I don't really know what you mean by that, to be honest. I have your indicator and there are times where the bullish and bearish T-spots are right on top of each other. Why is that? Shouldn't it be one or the other? So really quick, we want to see that go into previous day high real quick. But for instance, if you had this candle here where it swept out both sides of the range and it had a change in the state of delivery on both sides. So for instance, it looked like this, right? And it did that. Well, then you have a bullish and a bearish setup, right? Now, people that just pattern trade are going to get confused because, hey, we have two setups. No, right? You have to have an idea. Do you notice the only reason we even came down to the 1 minute chart here was because what? The 4 hour already expanded. We wait till 10 a.m. We can see more movement with the 4 hour. The 15 minute, I'm viewing it as a swing point, right? Expansion, retracement, expansion. And then the 1 minute has a fractal model, right? So the only reason we're down here is because of higher time frame analysis. So that's why you don't try to pattern trade things. Thanks for the education website. Why did you create it for everyone for free? Well, because people shouldn't have to pay for information. So now previous day low has been hit, right? And that's kind of all we have, right? If you notice, what did we talk about, right? Gold already expanded. Could you trade it back up? Sure. I'm not really interested in trading that higher. Do you get a reaction? Yeah, you get a reaction. Could you trade that? Sure. Not my type of trade. Oil, we already hit the lows. It already moved higher, right? So that's just something I missed because now we're over the highs, right? Not going to chase that. Bitcoin we talked about for lower, right? And then the main thing is just YM was the only one that was open still, right? So that's it. All we could anticipate today since I woke up late is this move on YM into these lows, right? Cool. Now, can it expand lower? Sure. And if it's going to expand lower through the lows, then usually ES is going to follow suit to here, right? Now, I prefer not to trade the lagging or middle assets because sometimes you just get chopped up. I prefer to just trade the leading one, right? This is a lot easier move to me than the other, right? Makes sense? How to identify which asset has gain strength. So here's like a really cool thing. I'm going to go over this a few times for people to ask. I see the question a lot. So if you go to my website and you're wondering relative strength and weakness, there's kind of a whole guide on it. There's 3 ways that I use it. And I spoke about it briefly in here, but SMT on previous day high, that's SMT. Your separation, YM's closest to this low, so it's weakest, right? What's next? ES is the weakest next. YM is the strongest, right? That's why I'm not even focused on NQ, not YM, NQ. I would only be focused if I wanted to trade this move here on ES because NQ is stronger. And you can see that separation from this low, right? Yeah. But it's just, you watch it enough and you start to see those things. It's a bit messy. So you see why I'd prefer YM. Easier. All right. I'm not looking at Forex today. I don't really make sense of dollar. This is, guys, like I said, each day I have a basket of assets, right? Today, which one could I make sense of? One. YM. Nothing else. Does that make me really bad at trading or analysis? No, it's just this is the one that makes sense to me, right? There's only one thing that made sense to me, and it's this move from YM to previous day low. Now, if it's blasting through previous day low, what can ES do? ES can continue, right? But if you're trading this, once again, this is your short-term target. If you want to trade a continuation of the ring, you want to be in so you can still target this short-term target, because if it just reverses, right? So hopefully that made sense on YM. Any questions on YM, this move here? Or did I break it down all right for you? Did it make sense? I guess if we want, we can talk about this somewhat advanced concept of, okay, ready, we're gonna do a lesson here. So let's say you have a target, right? And then this, right? we can agree that these are protected swings, right? So this should not be hit. This should not be hit, right? Now we continue. Let's say we make another one, right? This should not be hit. Well, the whole idea is, when should these not be hit until? Normally these should not be touched until we hit our target, which is this. Once we hit our target, you guys, if you want to study this, don't really talk about it much, but a lot of times we come run out with a first protected swing, and then that's where we form the continuation. You'll actually see that a lot if we run out this target first. And that's where I like to find entries. If you come back to YM, well, I didn't really want to talk about it much, but we run out a low, protected swing, runs it out, then goes, right? That's it. Yo, so people, I love when people use guaranteed in like words like this has to happen. You guys have guessed and never been humbled by the market. The market will humble you. Like if you start having an ego like that. Do I have a lesson on that? No. The only time I've talked about that lesson is in my private Discord mentorship. The only time I've done that. How do you confirm higher day or lower day? Well, you're either going to use a change in the state of delivery to confirm it, or you're going to use a candle closure, right? Where it looks like this. And then you're like, okay, cool. I expect that to hold. So for me, it's pretty easy today because what? I come in and I see, all right, we have SMT of previous day high all the way up here and we're all the way down there. It's pretty reasonable to expect that this is the high of day. So if that's the high of day, do I expect price to reverse? No, we haven't even hit a relevant level. So why wouldn't we reverse before previous day low? But even if it's going to go back up, I want to see this level hit. So that's why I marked out previous day low. That's it. Pretty simple. What do you say about price action today? Well, you might have to rewatch the stream because I don't really feel like explaining that again and again and again. You can just rewind. Can you show us how to use OTE and fib? If you notice, I don't have any OTE or fib on my charts because I don't really use that. We'll watch ES. So if ES is going to, so really you want to see, does YM continue? If YM continues, doesn't reverse off this low, usually then ES will also continue into this previous day low. So then you want to see what's our short-term target here, right? And we can see we're trading away from that. We have the little NQ SMT here. So we don't want to really see price trade much higher. It's more of a shallow retracement into here if you want it to go. Show us live now how you want C4 to look. I love how you guys demand things. It's really funny. Here's the thing about my streams, guys. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Right? Usually that's just talking about price action. Pretty simple. Right? So how would I want C4 to go? Well, we're not even in C4 yet. Right? Because we just got a new 15-minute count. Well, we're in a new 15-minute C4. But there, it's like you have to wait for some sort of setup. Now, what's the most ideal scenario? We reach up into this little gap and we form a swing point. That's it. Like that. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, guys. If I'm going to trade it, like I said, we've already expanded a lot. I prefer just the leading asset into the short target. Can this happen? Sure. Would you recommend trading to newbies? I don't really know what you mean by that. Please explain 7 a.m. expansion candle on YM. This one? I mean, it's kind of like this. This is called a framework transfer. I also don't talk about this really anywhere, but I'm transferring the framework from NQ and ES to the weaker asset. So I'm treating this like a candle 2 to trade candle 3 and 4, even though it's not a candle 3 and 4. But nonetheless, it would be 7 a.m. I'm on the 5-minute. You go to 7 a.m., which is right here. We'll go ahead and rewind it. Right. And if that's going to occur, generally speaking, you want to wait for a continuation. So open high. This one expands to, you either get this as it's going, or if you're waiting for the closure, you're not trading this. Generally speaking, you need to wait for a retracement, but then waiting for a new continuation. Right. And then you get a new candle there. So then now, if you wanted to, you have a new protected swing in the continuation of this reversal. And then it would be trading that lower. Right. That's really it. I'm gonna remove all those drawings. Guys, silver and gold kind of already made their move. I'm not that interested in it. So dollar, don't really care as well. Can do what it wants. If you'll notice, I'm only focusing on the stuff that makes sense to me right now, which is just YM. What is that indicator? So guys, I don't know how to do this. It's just, if you go to ttrades.com, I don't know if I lock it. It has everything, right? So, hey, what's your mentorship? Cool, you click the mentorship button here, right? Hey, what about this concept? Cool, trading education. It has every video that's important on my channel with all defined there. You can search it. Hey, what about prop firms? Sure, you go right here, prop firms. Indicator, cool, click right here and you have your indicator, right? Like, there's a reason I built the website. I don't see if N or YM ES can go now. Hit NQ. There's no SMT really. That might just break down. What was your bias before New York Open? Nothing, I was asleep. You notice I started the stream like 10 minutes after I woke up. So I didn't actually see the open. I came after the open. I think I got on the charts like what? Whenever I joined the stream, I literally got to my computer and I just started a stream. That's why I kind of speed ran through stuff. Are you doing YouTube live regularly? If we get enough viewers, right? Like if we have over 1,000 viewers when I'm on here, now we have 900, then sure, I'll do them. We do another giveaway. Maybe we do a, why prefer 30-minute over an hour? If the hour's not telling you anything. So for instance here, like if you want to trade this lower, unless we form a reversal here and you're trading candle 2 on the hourly, right? 30 minutes going to provide a swing framework, and then you can look at that. Make sense? So was 1,100 viewers earlier? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people ask for giveaways. Guys, I'm just gonna do giveaways when I want to do them. You feel? Like, I'm gonna do them a lot anyways. Because it's fun. Right? Right there. I just gave away another 25K flex account. You know? Alright, so you can see YM clearly not reversing below this low, right? This previous day low. So generally, what are we looking for then? For ES to trade into that low. I drew it kind of weirdly, but why data high, not the draw today? Bro, price is pretty bullish. I don't, like, just because price goes this way at 8:30 doesn't mean that price needs to go back here. All right, let's not spam like that, guys. You don't have to add 25 question marks or 20 capital letters to your questions. It's really quite annoying. And yeah, we can go back to YM really quick and explain that. So we're also talking, guys, daily range of YM. What was I saying? Around 700 points. We're right around 700, and that puts us at this low too. Right, so now we've hit both those targets. And ideally, that's why you just focus on the weakest one, but we still can see, yes, reached at this previous day low. Right, now once this is hit, I have no idea what's going on anymore, and then we'll answer a few questions and I'll get off, right? This is all I could understand today. It's annoying, but you are not answering just yes or no to a question for 25 minutes. So, believe it or not, you're not the only person in here. And how many chats have we got? Analytics, I don't know. We probably had a couple thousand messages. You know? So, you're complaining that I'm not answering one question out of like 7,000. If you really want access to me to answer my questions, then just join the Discord and ask. Like, I'm not going to get every question. You, frankly, are not entitled to my time. That's literally not how this works. Hey, I just look over on my screen when I'm not looking and I answer one. Hey, thanks for the extra education. Quick question. Why aren't you interested in the crypto market? I would say, sure, you can trade Bitcoin, right? If you look, I was explaining how I'm bearish on Bitcoin. Off this high, right? But for me, I tend to focus on futures and indices because that's just what I know, right? Show some 5-minute, 15-second fractal setups. There's nothing really to go down to that time frame. There's no reason to right now. Right? Hey bro, if you would not mind, your voice or volume was a bit louder. I actually think in my OBS it's right around 10. No, my voice is pretty decent. I mean, yeah, I'm a bit quieter today because I just woke up. But I think if you just turn up your, oh my gosh, guys, can you stop spamming the same thing? Be honest, how many average trades do you take per week according to your data? 27 question marks. Bro, why you not answer me? Come on. Well, that doesn't really make me want to answer your question. Like I said, you're not entitled to my time, guys. I just do it. I give away for free because it's fun to me. Anyways, I prefer to take a low frequency. I could take 1 trade a day max. That's it. So I'm just going to put you in timeout. Please stop spamming. All right, so YM, we get a decent move right towards the end of the range. ES still reaching for it. NQ, you notice how we just don't even look at NQ today? I just don't care. Don't care for this asset today. It's not in the running for anything. What is your bias? I would rewind the stream and start, and you'll see exactly what I was thinking. From where you learned all this stuff. A lot of what I've learned, guys, is just watching the charts. T, do you ever trade the German indices? No, I don't. But now we get a new 15-minute candle here, so I would like to see us just use this gap to trade into there. Right, you can see my little red drawings here are not the best. I am just being lazy with what I want, but let me explain it up here. Right, we have a little SMT there. That was protected. That was my red drawing. We have a gap here. So we either trade into the gap to trade lower, or we just break down. That's what I was saying. We just start to break down. Do you recommend, so yeah, here guys, like a lot of any questions related to relative strength and weakness, go watch this video. Like I cannot in chat answer this better than a whole dedicated video that I spent hours making. You know what I mean? Cheers from Portugal. Yo, what's up? I see you in the Discord all the time. Hey T, I'm having trouble learning your model. What do you suggest? Go to ttrades.com. Okay. We'll find this on the education tab. And then you have this little toggle that says core concepts, advanced concepts, library. Click this button that says fractal model. And then it will filter all of these blogs or these articles and focus on those ones. Okay, look for an entry long. So I will actually not be looking for an entry long here. Thank you for your opinion though. Before the 1 hour CISD occurs, when the market structure mitigates the 1 hour time frame fair value gap and does candle 2 closure, is it cool to me to go to the 5 minute? I mean, if you want to use, you can trade the reversals if you want, right? Like technically what we were talking about here was trading reversal, but what we were focusing on here was more of a continuation, right? It didn't have the right closure, so it's still, or it did have a closure, this continuation, right? Like, look, this is mechanical within my model. I'm looking for price to form a wick here. I'm looking for price to form a wick here. $10.17, was it silver bullet pattern? I don't trade the silver bullet, so I don't know what it is. This is all I could anticipate today, guys. Like I said, could I understand that Bitcoin is bearish? Sure. Did I trade it? No. Could I understand that gold could have had a reaction off of this low? Sure. Did I trade it? No. Right? Silver, kind of same thing. Oil, it's bullish, right? Am I going to chase it after it already made a pretty fat move? No. You know? All right. Today with SMT, you choose YM as weakest. Why yesterday went you with strongest asset? Well, if you go back to yesterday, it was strongest off the open. Guys, it's not the same every day. Like YM is not always the weakest every day, right? It changes with the days. So you have to come into the day, you figure out your direction. Also, for me, the directional bias is bearish, right? Then I look, I already have a bias. I can look for a framework, but then I would just look at the assets and determine which one is stronger or weaker, right? So I would say if you don't understand that, rewatch this stream once it's posted and then take a look and you'll see, okay, he got a bias that was bearish. He said he wants YM to previous daily low, or you can go look at the daily range. I was saying it could go to this low, right? That's what happens. That's it. That's all I have for today, right? I don't know everything in the market, right? You'll never understand every move. I just understand bits and pieces of moves, right? Hey T, I know you have pretty much experiences with all different asset classes, and I understand that TTFM model basically works for all, but do you think there's any particular peculiarity for each asset class? I mean, sure. Like, here's the thing. Indices move different than oil, right? So it's like everything has their own little signature or how they move. So you have to figure that out. Hey T, okay, I already answered that. Hey guys, please stop spamming the same question if I miss it. When do you meet Crudelli? I've already met Crudelli. We've gone to dinner before, we've hung out. So, he's a cool guy. Lens sub giveaway? I'm sure we could give away one. You have low volume. Let me add an external speaker. By looking at my OBS and my settings, I think it is most likely on your end. So yeah, I think you might want to external speaker. Is Jason doing good? I don't know who Jason is. I have no idea who Jason is. All right. Well, let's see what ES is to this previous day low yet. All right. Let's check one thing real quick. Yeah. So ideally this just goes. I don't really like when it hangs around. Do you use any SMT indicator? My indicator will mark out SMT. So, like for instance, if you go to NQ on like the hourly chart here, right, it tells you that YM didn't take out this high. Right, so there's an SMT on previous day high. Like it'll tell you that. That's all I do. Yeah, if you go to my Discord, discord.ttrades.com, and then you go to the Fractal chat and pinned, there's a great video resource. Please zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I'm zooming in a little. I just have a big monitor. Account breached. Well, I don't know what you're doing or what you're trading. Do you not look for data highs or data lows? I'm going to make a tweet on this right now. All right. Your Discord is free? Yeah. So here, I'll show you guys a screenshot as well. You can go into here. Oops. You'll find a Discord looks something like this. Right? It's all free. And you'll find it pinned in this channel. Right? I give away accounts each week in here. You can go to that if that's what you want. Really whatever you want to do. Which version of Lucid? I would say the Lucid Flex is the most popular. All right, really quick, guys. 50% of that. If this is going to remain, price needs to respect this area here and then trade lower. Otherwise, on ES, this just fails. Can you link it, please? Here, I will link the Discord. There you go. Can you please explain higher time frame bias? So you want to have something on the daily chart that tells you where you're going. So for me, that was YM. I want to see us go to previous day low, and we can make an average daily range around a 700, right? So into this low. Then you want to find fractal model or structure that aligns with that bias. So I got up here. So my whole idea is, well, 10 a.m. can continue lower. So then I just wait for fractal model. In this case, I don't expect the 30-minute or hour to give me one because I just want to see 10 a.m. expand. But I need to use the 15, and then that's why we ended up on the 1 minute. Got it? Anyways, so that is where we need to go lower from if we're going to do this. Nice. So if I was in here, then I'd be break even there because now this is a V-shaped reversal on a lower time frame. Show you V-shaped reversal. You want to see that continue. Otherwise, it's just actually chop. Right? So then now we can mark it out. Basically this area. You don't want to see price go back above that. You can go there, but you don't want to see it go. Right, now you generally want to just see this fall. So now it's because I've anticipated the wick of this to have formed, right? So I don't want to see it go and close back over this little blue line. Update on oil. We can go take a look. I mean, oil is just bullish, right? You hop on this, like, it's just kind of ripped today. So, but the thing is, guys, this is a range, right? And sure, we have these targets here, but we already took out this range high. I don't really like entering above that unless I have a new swing, new phase of price. Right? What do you think about US 30? Well, that was kind of all we spoke about the entire morning. So I would say rewind this and you'll see what I thought about that. Again, barely making a wick on the 4-hour chart. You'd ideally want to see the candle create open, high, low, close. It's enough to me. I didn't really care too much. Like within context, right? Like that's enough of a wick. I don't want to see a bigger wick here. Otherwise it fails. Like, and that's what we were talking about on why I'm here, right? We don't want to see much. All right. So, right. Does this make sense? Why do you want me to explain why I chose this area for this rejection? How do you deal with spread? You don't really have spread on futures. I mean, you do, but it's very minimal. Right. But anyways, why would I choose this level, right? Because I marked that out right as we traded into it, right? Well, what do we notice on this candle here? This candle here closed below this level. So that tells me this high should remain. If this high should remain, what should be respected? 50% of it. Well, 50% of the bodies lines up with the little volume imbalance here. So I use the volume imbalance and you can see how it's respected pretty well. Now, why do I want it up there? Well, these are all failure swings. So can you really trade away from this? Any stop in here? No, it'd have to be up there. Once we sweep out this high, it's a lower time frame swing point we're sweeping out. This is where I can expect to hold, right? Now here, kind of same thing. This is a consolidation on a lower time frame. We just swept it out. We're not going over that blue line I marked out. So then this is where I'd want to see price trade lower into that previous day low. Makes sense. This is ES. Now we will mark out this. Ideally, you just trade right through it. It doesn't care for it. But that's it. So all I'm doing here is I'm adding higher and lower time frame candles together to kind of visualize it on one time frame, right? So I know this is a wick on a higher time frame. We're respecting around 0.5 of the wick. This is the area that should be respected. V shape, this is another wick. Consolidation, sweeps consolidation. So expansion, consolidation, manipulation, distribution, right? So now it's touched that level exactly. I don't care for that. It should just trade lower, right? We get a new 15-minute candle in a minute. So I can do it then as well. Do I believe in breakaway gaps? Guys, if you notice, I don't really talk about much other than highs, lows, fair value gaps, and that. I don't, there's nothing breakaway. I don't talk about any of that stuff. I don't use it. Can you have a look at USD CHF? Well, look at Swissy. I mean, yeah, it expanded today. Higher. Right? Would I anticipate this? Well, if you're using dollar SMT, right? Because dollar, bring it back up here. Dollar took out its previous day low. USD CHF didn't, right? So you would have to be using the SMT there to trade this continuation, this reversal back up. Right now, where is your target on this? Well, if you're trading a reversal day like this, small wick, it's EQ, which EQ is right around here, so that high. And then you can look for previous day high. This is a harder high to get to, so I don't know if we'd hit that today, maybe tomorrow. But I mean, if you caught it sometime in London, that's great. Otherwise, I personally wouldn't be entering here because I want to enter around the opening price of higher time frame candles. So once you're already through that, it's not that interesting, you know? All right. Did it run out that swing? Yeah, it's not that interesting now. Let's see. So 15-minute candle. If we're going to continue away from this high, we want to respect the 50% of the wick, right? So really, we can just remove all these, not all of them. We'll remove most of the drawings. The only way for this to work that's any interest is it needs to sweep this high, close back below this high, right? Back in here, and then it needs to go. Otherwise, I'm just wrong, and I don't really care, right? Can you go over why the shorts at 10 a.m. 3-minute didn't work? On what? YM? 10 a.m. 3-minute? It did work. It continued lower. Maybe if you traded, I don't know what you traded. If you traded NQ, the thing is, if you're trading NQ, you're trading the strongest asset. So like if you're trading that, yeah, you can kind of expect to get ran out. It's forming SMT, right? And that's where it comes into choosing the strongest or weakest asset, right? Like you don't want to choose NQ today. If you notice, how many times did I talk about NQ today? Like almost none, right? But you notice all the price action we just talked about in there is like literally a consolidation. Why didn't you wait for a wick? Can you explain? Well, the thing is, the whole idea behind this 4 hour going lower, people will look at this and say, hey, it didn't make a wick. How can you trust that? Well, you got to see what you're actually trusting. My whole anticipation is that 10 a.m. should go, and I'm viewing that the expansion or the retracement has already been completed before 10 a.m. If price has already formed its retracement, it doesn't need to go make another retracement. It can just expand lower. You know what I mean? Can you please tell us why your bias was short instead of long? I would rewatch the stream, but SMT of previous day high, just look at the price action. Like I wake up and I see this candle. I don't know who is telling you that that is bullish, but to me that is quite, it is trending down. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who tells you that this is a bullish candle, but it's not. I would say pretty objectively. T, when price trades above previous day high early in the day before London, New York, and your buyout bullish is buyers. My video next weekend, not this weekend, the next weekend, will answer that question for you, Neil. Or wait, who asked that? Was it Neil? No. Yo, Neil, stop spamming the same question, bro. It's actually annoying me, guys. Like, guys. All right. If 50% of this wick is going to react, right? We go back. There. Do we have a little SMT here? Wait, we might. No. Wait, let's see. NQ. No, it's trolling. Anyways. I still want to see this go there, right? My whole idea is through these lows into previous day low because YM never reversed, right? So you want to see that trade lower, right? And that's why if you're in here, you can be breaker even. Maybe you get hit depending on your fill here. I don't know. Some of you guys are funny. T, meaning of stop rate. Guys, people use fancy words. It's literally price just taking out a high to go lower or taking out a low to go higher. That's it. That's all it is. It's nothing fancy. All right. Once this hits, if it hits, we'll give it a few more minutes. Then I'm going to hop off the stream, go eat some breakfast, and work on some other stuff. T, what's your Twitter handle? I can link my Twitter account. You remember the blue live stream days? Blue. I don't remember. All right. Expansion. Is this a retracement or a reversal, right? The candle closure here is going to tell you, hey, is this a reversal to go back up? Or is this a retracement to go lower, right? But you see how it becomes less and less and less interesting as we go on after price has already, well, let's zoom out, already expanded. you know? That's why my main focus the whole day would just be YM, right? All right, let's see. Bias is always correct, but I keep placing stop loss into the sweep. So I would say that most likely, generally speaking, when I help people with that problem, talk about it, problem, well, not a problem. You are good at bias. What is the problem? SL then goes to TP. Solution. You are probably on M1 entries or M3 entries. You lack a little bit of the higher time frame opening knowledge, which you need for these type of entries. So how do you fix that? Stay on higher time frame for entry. So assuming that you're on this, I don't know, you didn't say. Usually staying on the 15-minute for an entry. Pretty fire for that because you are just gonna get it, you know, or even 5-minute. Got it. Hope it helps. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to this here. All right. It is pretty choppy, but I still want to see a previous day low. T, do you post educational videos often? I mean, you're on my YouTube. You can take a look at my channel. It's usually every week. Why don't you like Elon Musk company like Twitter and Tesla to trade even? Most of my audience trades futures. And like, for instance, could we go trade Tesla? Generally, single stocks have better one-sided moves, but less info to act on, right? Like it's not really for me. I'll trade options and stuff, but it's on a slightly higher time frame. Like I'm just swinging them, you know. That's it. All right. So YM continuing lower. That means yeah, should start to go. We'll see. You guys see the relative strength and weakness here? Yeah, YM is just wanting to go lower. NQ is like, I'd rather do absolutely nothing. ES is kind of in the middle. Does that make sense why relative strength is important? All right. I'll probably hop off soon. This is really rather uninteresting. The main portion of the day has been made. We talked about this move lower. It's not bad. We can do one more giveaway. Can't find you on Discord. HTTP. Guys, if you go to ttrades.com, go to ttrades.com, scroll to the very bottom, and I have this little thing right here on the very bottom of my site. And you'll never guess. This is my Twitter. That's my YouTube. That's my Instagram. That's Telegram. That's Discord. There you go. You get them all. All right. In these streams, you will not know if I take or don't take a trade because I am not a signal bot. You're not going to come in here and copy trades off of me. You'll come in here and I can explain stuff, right? Like, I will talk about things. You can do whatever you want. I am not going to be liable for you. Thank you. I don't really have an interest in the pound right now because dollar has a small wick off previous day low. It's already back into the EQ, all of that, right? So I'm not really interested in entering a reversal day all the way back at the EQ. If I'm trading a reversal day, I'm trading before we reach into this target, right? And I don't really have interest in opposing that reversal day, so I have no interest in trying to trade this back up, right? Yo, why are people spamming stocks? There was an SMT prior to 10 a.m., so you don't necessarily need SMT at the 10 a.m. candle. Right? We go to NQ. Where was it? Were we on the 3-minute? On YM. There's this little SMT in here. That's what it was. Right? So we have SMT there. It trades away. This is telling us it wants to go lower. All right, we're gonna end the stream there. Let's do a giveaway. We'll do a giveaway today in the Discord for the last one. I'll link that. You can join there. Go to this channel that says drop giveaway, and it will literally be a button. You click the button and you enter the giveaway. All right, I'll set that up. Do you think we're ever going to get to previous day low? I mean, I was focused on YM and we ran previous day low here. So on ES, I don't really care now. Thing is, when you want something to happen, right? Like right here, I was saying I want this gap to see, and if it forms, it gives you another chance here, but then it's wrong, right? It gets bought right back up. Usually when something that you want to happen isn't happening, it's usually something to stay away from. Consolidating. And yeah, guys, if you're here for signals, you're not going to get signals. All right. So if you're here to try to copy my trades, that is not going to happen. Hopefully that helps. And if you don't like that, that sucks, because I am not going to do that. Don't really care. Like I said, I'm not going to be liable for your wins or your losses, because what happens is if you call out trades, one, it's like you're putting yourself in not a great position, because now people treat you as their trading setup, and then they think that if you're winning or losing, it's all on you, when it's like it's them. So that's it. All right, we're gonna end the stream. You can join Discord. We'll do a giveaway today for another Lucid Flex account. And yeah, we'll end it there. Hope you have a good one. See you guys.